Okay, so we are at, I don't know what time it is. What time is it?
5:43?
5:43. Where's the time? Am I looking at the wrong thing? Okay, look at that clock, right? 5:43. Alrighty, we are at 5:43, and it is Monday, June 22nd, 2026. And as the chair of the Sustainability Commission for the City of Indio, I call the meeting to order, and I ask for a roll call.
Chair Anitha Liu,
Here, present.
Vice Chair Selena Jimenez,
Present.
Commissioner Sandra Verdugo is absent, Commissioner Pete Chris, also absent, Commissioner David Getka.
Present.
Right.
Alrighty. Good afternoon and welcome to everyone for this meeting of June 22nd. And since we have a quorum, we can proceed. So we'll go ahead. Thanks to a member of the public. Do we have any members of the public here today online?
There are no public comments.
Alrighty, so to start our meeting, I ask everyone to join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Alrighty, so there's no public, so I'm assuming there are no public comments for items that are not on the agenda. So that's item number 3 on our agenda for today. And so with that, we'll go on to item number 4 on our agenda. I had an agenda. Item number 4, for those of you, does everyone have a copy of the agenda? No? Oh, you've got one electronically. Okay, very good. Okay, so for the item number 4 on the agenda is an announcement, and I have been provided with that announcement by staff, and it is on data centers. And the announcement is that on June 3rd, 2026, the City Council approved an urgency ordinance number 1838 that established a 45-day moratorium on data centers. This Wednesday, June 24th, the Planning Commission of the City of Indio will consider a presentation from staff concerning data centers and make recommendations to be forwarded to the City Council for consideration. So that is the announcement. Does anyone know the time of that meeting? June 24th, please?
I believe it's at 5:30.
5:30. So the agenda should, thank you, Sarah, the agenda should be online. I'm assuming participation would be also allowed online for those interested in giving comments, or you can also join them in these chambers on June 24th. So that is the announcement. All right. With that, we'll move on to agenda item number 5, which is approval of the minutes of the Sustainability Commission for the March 23rd, 2026 meeting. So has the rest of the commission had a chance to look at those meeting minutes?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. And is there any discussion or questions on those minutes before we take a motion to approve? Any discussion or questions? I did have one. I didn't see Ellen's name on that. Were you here, Ellen? March?
No, she was out that day.
Okay, all right, thank you. So then, good. So then I don't have any more, I don't have any other questions. All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I will so move to approve the minutes of March 23rd, 2026.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
All righty, having no discussions, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, given unanimous approval, we will, the motion passes, and the meeting minutes of March 23rd, 2026 are approved and adopted. All righty, next item on our agenda is agenda item number 6, which is a presentation by Mr. Roman Gonzalez, who is the Water Project Construction Manager of the Utility and Maintenance Department. I believe that's for the city of Indio. Mr. Gonzalez? Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, we can see you and we can hear you. These mics are a little bit weird. You have to like really, oh,
Can you guys hear me now?
yes, yeah, we can get,
Either or, it's fine?
yeah,
Okay.
we've got you now. Thank you.
Good evening,
Thanks,
Commissioners. Roman Gonzalez. I'm the Water Project Construction Manager with the City of Indio Water. And today I come before you to provide you an update on our water resources. So I'll go over a few slides. I'll present a few of the regional plans that we're working on. And in addition to that, I'll then give you a brief update on our water conservation efforts. So let me start with the first slide. So as an overview for the presentation, we'll go over our regional planning efforts. We'll cover the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, SGMA. We'll cover the Urban Water Management Plan, and we'll also cover our water conservation efforts within the City of Indio Water. Let me see. Starting with the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, SGMA, this is let me see. So at the regional level, we continue to coordinate closely through the Indio Sub-Basin Groundwater Sustainability Agency. The 2027 Indio Sub-Basin Alternative Plan update is currently underway. We anticipate releasing a draft of this report in August 2026 and finalizing this version in December 2026. We will have a hearing on this in August or September, so we'll make sure we share that with you as well. We completed the 24-25 Indio Sub-Basin Annual Report. The Sub-Basin Annual Report provides the most recent data on groundwater conditions within the Indio Sub-Basin. The following slides will provide you a summary of the report. This GSA boundary, this map shows the Groundwater Sustainability Agency members for the Indio Sub-Basin. This regional partnership is essential for aligning water management, planning, and implementing projects that benefit the entire basin. So we meet as a region every month to work on this plan, and we exchange information, we exchange ideas as we look into each individual agency. The next slide provides a cumulative groundwater storage trend for the Indio Sub-Basin. So as you can see, the trend is since 1970, but you could see that starting since 2009, how the basin continues to show encouraging results. The growth in storage is driven by several key factors, including replenishment using the Colorado River canal water, a robust regional conservation effort, increased use of recycled and canal water for irrigation. All of these combined efforts have contributed to positive changes in groundwater storage during the water year 24-25, A water year is from October 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2025. So the latest report reflects that data. Keep forgetting to. The next slide, sorry. The next slide provides a description of the change in groundwater storage. This chart illustrates how inflows and outflows contribute to changes in the basin storage. As you can see, major inflows include return flows, replenishment activities, natural infiltration, subsurface inflow, and wastewater percolation. The outflows are primarily due to groundwater pumping, drains, evapotranspiration, and subsurface flow out of the basin. Based on the difference of inflows and outflows, the change in storage for the year 24-25 is approximately 137,000 acre-feet of water. Overall, the report shows a balanced conditions with continued progress towards long-term sustainability objectives. And just to give you a frame of reference, within the City of Indio, water or annual usage is about 20 to 21,000 acre-feet of water. So on the next slide, we have, so now the next plan will be the Coachella Valley Regional Urban Water Management Plan. This plan is updated every 5 years. It's a regional requirement. It's a regulatory requirement from the Department of Water Resources. It provides a comprehensive look at current and projected water demands through 2050. It accounts for factors such as climate change, population growth, and patterns in water use. As far as the patterns in population growth, it uses the Southern California Association of Governments data. We completed the required public hearing for this plan. We remain on track to submit the plan to the California Department of Water Resources by July 1st, 2026. As part of this plan, it also includes a water shortage contingency plan. This plan provides a roadmap for the city to manage and mitigate water supply shortages. So in case there's a shortage for any droughts, any major droughts, infrastructure failures or emergencies, we're able to implement the water shortage contingency plan. It has 6 steps. Currently, we're on stage 1. And as part of the stage 1, the key requirements include avoiding irrigation practices that cause any runoff, avoiding washing of hard surfaces unless required for immediate health and safety reasons. We have a lot of the other requirements within our website. I provide you the full list. Now going into water conservation. So as part of water conservation, we do have a multi-faceted approach strategy. One of them is our rebate programs for smart irrigation devices, turf removal, and efficient indoor fixtures. Currently, we have approximately $300,000 left on the Prop 1 Round 2 grant funds for turf rebates. In addition to that, we also have about we were just awarded about $800,000 from the Water and Energy Efficiency Grant for direct install turf replacements. Additionally, we have public education and outreach through programs like CV Water Counts. We continue to implement customer engagement tools, including online portals for tracking water use. And operationally, we also coordinate regionally to ensure consistent messaging of and enforcement of water wasting rules. So in summary and some key takeaways, we have regional planning efforts are well underway and support long-term sustainable water management. Groundwater storage for water year 24-25 continues to show a positive yield. The urban water management plan remains on schedule for a timely completion. And our conservation programs and regional coordination efforts are actively supporting water reliability. And with that, I conclude my presentation. If you guys have any questions, I'll be more than happy to address them.
Thank you. Water is always a critical issue for us here in the desert. I do have two questions, but I'll let the other commissioners go ahead first. So, Vice Chair?
Please proceed.
Okay. Commissioner Getka? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I have no questions. I just want to thank him for his insightful presentation. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And I also want to thank you for coming here this evening and giving us a presentation. I also listened to your one at the city council meeting last week. That's very informative also. To me, I've lived here in the valley about 4.5 years. The biggest resource I think we have in the desert is water over all other. And I have concerns going forward. We have a number of major developments being built in North Indio, also Palm Springs. There's different subdivisions, HOA developments going in. Coachella Valley Water Authority tells us that they're confident they can meet the demand going forward. But we all know we're getting reduced. Our water from the Colorado River is getting almost reduced every year. We're asked to be conserving more and more every year from the state. We're going through some drought conditions as we did this winter, and we don't know what's in store for us for the coming winter. I don't know how thorough, when you all investigate the water estimates for the coming year, 5 years, whatever. I don't know how confident you can be with some of those estimates. The other big thing that's going to be coming into the valley, or trying to come into the valley, are the data centers, which we all know, even with the enclosed systems, still require a lot of water resources. And we know water drives our agricultural industry here in the valley, also our tourism with all the golf courses. And we know not all our golf courses are using brown water, recyclable water yet. They're not all geared up for that. So I'm just concerned about, with all the extra growth we have, potential for AI data centers coming into the valley, the restrictions, it seems, increasing every year from the Colorado River. I just have concerns about, are we going to be able to meet all those requirements going forward? So that's my concern. And I'm sure you all do a very good job in your research and estimation of future water needs. But again, I think that's something we need to all keep a watch on in all the cities. And sometimes, we get developments that come in and they promise a lot of things, a lot of tax revenue, a lot of other resource revenue, and maybe there's some exaggeration that goes on with some of these proposals from cities and developers and businesses. So that's basically all I had to comment on. But again, I appreciate your due diligence and putting forth a report.
I appreciate your input, and I think you have some legitimate concerns. I think, and I'll just speak on behalf of all of these reports. One of the reports that addresses, two of these reports address some of these concerns, specifically the 2022 SGMA report that we're working right now on updating. As part of the report, they did take into consideration all of the shortages that we're getting from the Colorado River. As part of the projections, they estimated a 10% reduction, and all of that is included within the analysis that they did. In addition to that, for the urban water management plan, they took into account the studies that were done for the 10% reduction on the SGMA plan. And in addition to that, they took into account all of the water conservation efforts that we're doing, all of the SCAG reports, which is the Southern California studies as far as like projections for growth. And all of that was taken into account, but yeah, I acknowledge your concern, and we'll continue to monitor it and research it. In addition to that, whenever a large development comes in and it involves more than 500 residences, it does require a water supply assessment. What the water supply assessment will do is the developer is responsible for addressing how their development is going to be mitigated by the water resources that we have. So they look at this report, the Urban Water Management Plan. They look at what was done, and based on that, they're able to add feedback and determine if their project will be able to be provided the supply and demand that we currently have. Yeah.
And I also understand that in the valley, Imperial Valley, they are proceeding with enclosing their canal systems with concrete. I know they have a lot of the concrete in place with a lot of canal systems, but I think they're still going forward with that too, which will also help with some of the, reserving some of the water, conserving it too, as it flows through. So, anyway, that's all I had. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your input. Appreciate it.
Sure.
All right. I'll just say that one of the things that you should expect to see from us or via Ellen and Sarah is that our hopes is to have for the sustainability metrics for the city a little bit more transparency so that when residents log in, we can kind of see where we are in terms of water use and those kinds of greenhouse gases, those kinds of metrics. So Sarah and Ellen will be coming back to your group at some point in time to sort of see what makes sense of the data, to see what we can communicate simply to residents, in terms of what makes sense. One of the things that I noticed that in January 2028, there is a rule coming into effect that is going to be prohibiting the use of drinking potable water to irrigate non-functional turf. I don't know if you've heard of that rule. And it's related, the Assembly Bill is AB 1572. And I don't know if we have begun as a city to do anything to communicate that requirement to golf courses or those commercial consumers of water. But it's not a lot of time to plan, quite frankly. Less than what they have, less than, I don't know, whatever the math is. Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why we continue to expand on our water conservation rebates and all of the grant funding that we currently have. And we continue to research and submit additional applications for that because we recently brought up to our city council, and because as part of this AB 1572, we are required as a city to adopt the state regulatory requirement. So back, I think, I'm not sure if it was early June or late May, we brought an ordinance to the city council to adopt the state law, pretty much on our end to be able to enforce what this new law has. And ultimately, we're just following what the state requirement has. Starting 2027, I think it involves city properties. And I think 2028, it involves, I forgot the order, but it has an order of 2027, 28, 29, and 2030. And our plan is to start the outreach for a lot of these locations and identifying them so they could, start registering with the state. A few of them have reached out to us already, and we're sharing what we have available for grant funding and as part of the direct install program, see if that's something that they're interested that could help them start converting.
I think the HOAs also fall under that requirement, but in later years. I think they're towards the end of the initial
Yeah, I think they're 29,
start.
2030, but I'll have to confirm that.
So how are we getting that information out to folks?
The
Through mailers or something?
So currently, the AB 1572, we just have it up on our website and
it's on-
just
okay.
informing with regards to our rebates, what we have based on that, yeah.
So for this, and we don't have a lot of people here, but they might be looking for the information afterwards. So where should they go to? Can you kind of state where they should go to find that information?
Yeah, I'll make sure I'll share that.
It's going to be City of Indio Water Authority. Can you
It
help?
should be within our water,
But they don't
within
know
our water
who,
quality
They don't know who
section.
our is.
Excuse me?
The people listening don't know who our is. They don't know who you are.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, so it will be within the City of Indio Water Authority website, yeah.
Okay, so go there and look for AB 1572.
Yeah.
And look for, and there'll be a contact.
We'll make
person.
sure it's there for the contact for our customer service, and then, if any additional information is needed, we'll make sure it's added
Cool.
to address it.
Cool, thank you. All right, yeah, we try and do a little PSA,
No, thank you. This is great input.
public service announcement. Even though no one's listening right now, they might pick up the information afterwards. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thanks so much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just one last comment. Are you planning also presenting your presentation to the Planning Commission?
I was not planning on it. However, we are going to continue working on Sigma for the following months. So I was thinking if any additional updates are needed, that will be the perfect timing, especially within the time frame that we have the hearing. Probably will be like August, September. We could provide a more in-depth update on what the 2027 alternative plan is.
The only thoughts I had on that was, as we know, there could be potential future proposals for a data center into the area here. And of course, there would probably be involved with any kind of decision-making and approvals along with the city council. But I just thought I would throw it out there. Might be something they might want to be educated on if they weren't at the city council meeting last week. But you know your schedule better than I do, so.
Yeah, no, I'll look into it with our directors and see what recommendations they provide. But anyway, we could share this information and any other departments or sections we could share it. We're more than happy to do so. Yeah.
Okay, all righty. Thank you so very much for coming in, and we'll always want to have the water folks back. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Our next agenda item is number 7.1, which is Lead for Cities, and I believe staff is going to speak about that issue.
All right, so this is going to be a little update on our work plan as well as going into that item 7 discussion for a recommendation to use Lead for Cities. So,
Okay, and our speaker is Ellen, and I didn't announce your position that properly. What's your position again, Ellen?
I'm the Environmental Programs Fellow.
Okay, Environmental Programs Fellow for the City of Indio. Thanks. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so just an overview of the goals, the 7 goals that we have in the Sustainability Work Plan. Clean energy, low greenhouse gas emissions, zero waste, water resources and supply, sustainable environment, land use and transportation, outreach and communication, and resilience and mitigation. So those are the 7 goals that we're working with in this previous plan. And I also want to highlight in that plan, we also talk about sustainable cities, how individual sustainable choices can influence effective and equitable policy that moves towards reducing greenhouse gas emissions, preserving natural resources, and more. So just going into our actual work plan objectives that we have. So the first one is the IREN network. So the first thing on there is Kits for Kids. That is a SoCal Ren program, actually, but this is a way for students to receive energy-efficient items for their households, bring them home, and the classroom can receive $1,000 from SoCalRen. And currently, we have 3 classrooms at John F. Kennedy Elementary involved in that. And then the incentive finder tool is from IREN, and this is a way that residents can find energy incentives that are available based on their location and their income level. And we will have someone from CVAG to present on that and give you further information next time. And then bike lanes, this is, like it says, ongoing, but this is part of our safe streets, our complete streets. So as different streets are updated, the bike lanes go in with that. It's all part of the same program. When these streets are getting, ripped up and updated, the bike lanes are part of that. So you could see, as for example, on Oasis, that the bike lanes have been added in the past quite a few months. And then our true zero waste initiatives, we are hoping to have that completed in the late summer. This summer, we are working at the Indio Senior Center and the Performing Arts Center to have that completed. And then we just heard about our water conservation efforts from Roman. And for beautification programs, we are currently working on our Big Belly waste collection units. We are hoping to start a second round of updates on the existing ones that we have, and also installing a few more units. And then, so sustainable construction, we have home energy updates that I'm going to talk about in just a moment. And then the LEAD program, which we are also going to talk about later in this presentation. And then the sustainability webpage is something that we are continuing to work on with marketing. That is still a work in progress. The Eco Hero shows are something that will be coming later, as they are part of the school's program. So it is the summer, but that's coming up. So in relation to one of our goals to have more EV charging available, these are images from City Hall and the new sports park. So there are also EV charging available at the golf course. Those are active and operational, as should the sports park. And the City Hall ones do still need to be activated, but they are installed. Okay, so these are some metrics that we received from IID as well as from our own records. And so these are, it's pretty self-explanatory just by the title, but these are the numbers of households or numbers of projects that have used the Energy Rewards Rebates program in 2025, and this is for Indio specifically. So you could see like refrigerator recycling, HVAC updates, EV charging, attic insulation, and so those are the IID ones. And then also where it says complete permits 2023 through 26, that's from our own records. These are people who have applied for the permit, done the project, and it's now complete in the past few years. There is some overlap in between these two, but there's also some separate projects such as the solar or the tankless water heaters. So those are Indio-specific residential home updates and a few non-residential in there as well. So just to kind of bring it all together, in light of all of these projects that we have going on, and in light of our goals, how can we build on these to continue to make new goals, to keep advancing our sustainability efforts in the region, in our city? So this is where we come to the Lead for Cities program. So we are currently working off of the sustainability work plan, the climate action plan. There's a lot of different things that have different or the same goals even that we're working off of right now. So Lead for Cities can give us a clear framework and plan to study our community needs, create programs and policy, and also plan for future resilience efforts. So it is a third party that can give us some credibility, support, materials for planning, and also research within our own systems of what we have done, what's working, where we need to put our effort in. And it looks at social, economic, and environmental indicators. So we can identify our strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities for improvement. It's an interdepartmental project, so it would not be just us in environmental programs. We would include many departments in the city. And this is a way to institutionalize sustainability, to make it holistic and foundational. And I included a link in here because this is where you can find a whole list of materials that are really important that will give you a lot more detail than what we can just provide in this short presentation. But I do want to give some example of what this looks like. So these are all of the different categories and the point system that is in Lead for Cities. So there are prerequisites and credits. So the prerequisites are required, the credits are optional, but they do give you more points if you choose to get certified on some type of level. But I do want to point out that these completely overlap with all of our goals that I talked about at the beginning, our 7 goals. So 2 of our goals, for example, clean energy and low greenhouse gas environment, you can see the energy and greenhouse gas emissions category. One of our goals is zero waste. That can be found in materials and resources category. Our water resources and supply category or goal you can find in the water efficiency. Our sustainable environment, land use, and transportation goals can all be addressed in the natural systems and ecology, transportation, and land use categories. And resilience and mitigation, we can address these through natural systems and ecology category, as well as quality of life. So I also want to go back to the work plan a little bit. We do talk about interconnectedness of economic development and sustainability, and that is inherently in this program as well through the quality of life and all of these other ones. I believe that when we focus on sustainability, it is a way that we can uplift everyone in the community, whether that is by addressing environmental justice concerns, water, active transportation, accessibility. All of these things are a good thing for everyone. And it's also a way to address our local risks that we also talk about in our work plan, such as extreme heat, drought, flood, poor air quality. So this is a way for us to streamline and expand our sustainability goals using a structured and supported method. And we can lead by example in the Coachella Valley. There are in Riverside County, the city of Riverside and Rancho Cucamonga are also certified cities. So we can join them in Riverside County. And so this is just a way where we can benchmark our sustainability, establish our priorities, direct those resources into the areas of need, and strengthen or develop plans, policies, and programs all through a very structured framework where we also have support in the United States Green Building Council that this program is through.
Ellen, are you saying that we currently have 110 points potentially to be platinum certified, or what is are we pursuing certification? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm not saying that we are or we aren't. Certification is certainly an option, and we don't have to go for platinum. We don't have to go for, it is just based on the point system of what we would like to complete. But if we don't want to focus on points at all, this is also just a great way of seeing where we are and having a framework of going through our systems, going through our goals, and benchmarking that, and then also highlighting where our opportunities lie. So we could definitely go for platinum if you want to, but
Yeah, no, I was just looking because it says total 110, and so I don't know if that's like possible or is that like existing? Because I guess I understood the table to be like the city of Indio has the following existing items?
No, existing meaning like,
Existing
that's part of the,
categories.
that's like the title of the program, is an
Okay.
existing city.
Oh, got it. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give you some more detail on this. This is a little snapshot of part of the energy category, quality of life, and materials and resources. So you can see there are different options of how to pursue that prerequisite or that credit. And a lot of this is internal, going into records or, the information that we have to see where we are in that specific category. So that's just some more detail. But right now, this is just a discussion item, so there's no decision to be made right now. I would encourage highly everyone to go to the link that is in here. Go online to the USGBC Lead for Cities site. You can see different Excel sheets, different planning, it's called a crosswalk program. You can see it all in there. There's presentations specifically to local government. So I would say that is a great resource as you can research more and see more details of that. But yeah, this is just a discussion to review, an opportunity to review the materials on the website and decide if this is something that we should pursue and recommend.
Okay, I'm going to actually launch a discussion if I can, only because of, to provide some historical context. So back in 2025, we began looking at Lead for Cities, and Sarah and I went ahead and took the, I guess you call it training, certification. What do you call it, Sarah? What was it we took?
It was for True Zero Waste certification. It is a certification done by the same organization, the Green Building Council, U.S. Green Building Council, but it's a separate certification, and
Okay.
it's a separate program than the Lead for Cities.
Okay.
So we focused on the True Waste certification.
Actually, there's a presentation here, if you pull it up. I presented back in July 2025 on this Lead for Cities to the commission from way back then. I don't know if you were here, Commissioner Getka, and it compared the Lead for Cities with the True. And I'm pretty sure we went through, yeah, you're right, Sarah, we went through the training for the, yes, that was July 2025 when I presented that. And so it's actually not new to us, this concept of Lead for Cities, and this kind of goes, it's kind of a circular argument because it goes to your point. We don't have a way of, we kind of touch things and move on to something else, which is why there's this recommendation being made. If I read the subtext, a recommendation is being made because things kind of drop off of the calendar. So we need some sort of way to organize these initiatives that we look at so that they don't just drop off the calendar or our list of things. Even if it doesn't make it onto our work plan, we have some way of tagging that we looked at that and what is the status, because not everything can be on the work plan. And I pretty much showed the same metrics that Ellen showed. There's no one in there right now?
No, we can advance this.
Okay, so there is, yeah, there was one about True, and then there was slide number 5 that went into the primary focus of it. So this, yeah, the side-by-side comparison. So this Lead for Cities is more for cities, local governments, whereas the True was for businesses and institutions. And as Ellen was said, this is really a broad scope sort of management tool for the cities. One thing that you said that was sort of interesting in terms of how you would go forward with this, you said it was going to be require other departments, not just the sustainability group at the city. So have you had an opportunity to talk with them, any of the other departments, and do you have any feedback from them?
Not specifically on whether we want to do the lead for cities. We are going to leave that up to you ultimately if that's what you want to do. But we have been working with them a lot to get the metrics that we
Yeah.
were showing about what was going on with some of what's happening in the buildings. And we work with water all of the time. And so it wouldn't be a whole lot more collaboration than we are already doing. We don't expect it to be, but we haven't made that formal with any of these other departments either.
Okay, can you go to slide number 6, Ellen? And the difference here is a city may use lead for cities for overall sustainability planning, and that's the essence of the recommendation that I'm kind of sort of hearing. And yeah, that's the key. How can India use leads for cities? Certification is not mandatory, which is what Ellen said. It can be used for planning and benchmarking. So it can be, we can sort of use it to help figure out what to put on the website as opposed to being overwhelmed and think, oh, we got to put everything on there. We can sort of use it as a guide. So I don't know. I'll let the other commissioners talk, of course, but my thought is we've looked at this since July, so it's been a year of looking at this. So I don't know. Commissioner Jimenez, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I really appreciated Ellen's presentation, and I think I really, and of course I appreciate, Chair Lou's work in bringing this, last year. I really liked how you had that little overview so that you can see like all the different metrics and what you could possibly pursue. I really appreciated hearing also that it could be interdepartmental, collaborative kind of thing. I think that's great. And I would love to see something like that be implemented. I do know that it's tough, but I think if the city could take some steps in integrating what Chair Lou suggested with what's on that wonderful table that had the total points equal 110, I think I'd be very happy with that. That would be wonderful. But I do know that it would take a lot of collaboration with the community, with our departments, and just other stakeholders. And so, so I think that's a great framework, and I really support it. And so you tell us, what are the next steps, because it sounds like Chair Lou had already brought this back in July. So we want to know what's next. And so I support that. And, so thank you for bringing it back. And I mean, for reminding us that you had once mentioned this. I frankly had forgotten. I apologize. So thank you for the reminder, and yeah, and let's move it forward, whatever we need to do. Oh, okay.
Well, recently, we took a trip to the sustainability, it was a program that US Green Building put on in Riverside. Chair Lou attended, and so did staff, and they reminded us a lot about the Lead for Cities and why it's helpful, and how while we sit here and talk about, are we sustainable? Where are we on that kind of, and this would give us more of a definite answer to that, something that we could say we're at this point, or we're within this, in this framework, we have a place that helps us know which way we're moving and that we're making progress, and that we can clock that more easily than the way we have our different plans right now.
Well, I definitely like the idea of using it as a guideline, parameter to, base our future direction and activities on regarding sustainability. So what I'd like to see, if we could at some point, is try to fine tune, where do you think, what areas can we physically and realistically be able to accomplish regarding the lead categories, which ones can we target? Not that we have to, necessarily get certified, but to use it as a guideline, a foundation to go forward, but also target and prioritize what areas that we think are achievable, that the city can make without a lot of, I know a lot of this does require a lot of future investment for certain areas and categories. But if we can choose the ones that we think we can, like the low-hanging fruit type of concept that we can go after and try to attain. So my understanding is there are no cities here in the valley that are LEED certified at this time, correct?
That is my understanding, yes.
Okay, so you said Rancho Cucamonga is?
Yes, and Riverside, and then there are other Californian cities outside of Riverside County, such as like San Diego, Costa Mesa, I believe, and others.
Okay. Do we have any kind of a potential time frame that we would like to, strive to get certification? I mean, is it 5 years? Any idea what that might be?
No, tonight we wanted to bring it up as a discussion, just because we don't like to bring voting items up without having a full discussion, allowing that from the commissioners. So if those are the this is the kind of information that you would like, that's good feedback to us, then we can bring that back. And if you would like, then we can bring it back as a voting item with that extra information and all of the things that you are talking about now.
And along with that, maybe, the other departments of the city, if you have contact with the other departments as to what departments might be able or be interested in helping out with this type of certification, or at least the direction we're trying to go to, maybe would be a good start too, if you have some ideas. The fellow commissioners have any ideas on that?
Yeah, I actually have a whole lot of ideas that I think we can all find a way to implement through, for example, upcoming grant funding opportunities through TCC, Round 6. I think, that table that Ellen put together, there were a lot of items there that TCC could help us address. And so I do think that there is grant funding available out there. If we get a little creative, we can, really achieve some of these goals that we're trying to achieve. Because I noticed, for example, so with TCC, for example, if we really wanted people to save and conserve on energy, there's an appliance electrification option, there's solar panel install options, there's composting, all that good stuff. There's so much that you can do, through that grant funding opportunity. And I think that that's one way to do that, because I know that the biggest challenge for all of us is funding. And I think that if we can, find this funding and align it with what we would like to do and see that is within reason and feasible, I think that those are my thoughts. And I know I've definitely talked about, affordable housing. I've talked about composting. I've talked about the solar panels, the appliance electrifications, because even water heater replacements and air conditioning units being replaced to be more energy efficient, those are all things that could be achieved through some of this grant funding that's available. And so there's lots of ways to do this. And I almost used that phrase that Sarah told me not to use a while back, but anyway. So lots of ways to achieve the goal. So yeah.
A question for you, given your experience with the TCC grant, and I have to be careful as I start going into that. If you, for the city, looking at LEED for cities, if they decide to go for TCC, is this something that they would want to propose as in process or as being undertaken as a pilot? Would it matter? Like so a pilot, I think of something like they're not going for the credits yet, they're just implementing the framework, say for 2026, 27, and then later they go for the full, have the third-party person come in and add up the credits. So if the city is going for the TCC, would they need to kind of have demonstrated that this is in place or in pilot mode? do
No,
you
it
think?
could be in pilot mode or, if you will, also in progress. So for example, if you propose to, for example, develop affordable housing, you could say that the affordable housing development will be LEED Gold or LEED whatever, silver, LEED Platinum. You can actually indicate that, and then the developer would have to build it to that standard. So that's one example of how you can achieve that certification for a specific project within TCC. So I'm just, kind of saying that, and also through TCC, like say that you wanted to propose composting or clean soils or any of that endeavor, you can definitely say that you want to use the funding to actually achieve those goals, and that's okay. So that's, I guess you could say that's kind of like a pilot. So it's an experiment. You're hoping to reach a certain goal, but, we'll see if we reach it. And so the funding is there to help us reach those goals.
So my thought on it, and the reason why I asked that question, it seems as though the way we should probably frame this to the rest of the commission and maybe even to the other departments is, would people prefer to go for a pilot where there is, you're adopting all of the elements, you're putting the management system in place? And a lot of these LEED programs have that built in, because I know I've got LEED training. A lot of these programs have that. I didn't stop to look, built in as part of the development. Do you recall, Sarah, where there's like a test phase? Do you remember if this one has it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah, so they actually allow you to do a test phase so that you don't just go out there and just fail or something. Yeah, so I would look at that, because some of the LEED standards, whether it's LEED green or LEED water or even the true waste, which is also a USGBC kind of a thing, many of them have a test phase to it where you kind of get to decide, do you really have the internal resources to go full for this thing? So that's the question I would bring back is, not just yay or nay, but do you want to go 3 options, either no or go full third party right away or go to this test phase? But sometimes the standard itself might have within it a test phase.
Started moving, so
Yeah. Energy efficient. So, yeah.
That's a very good comment and something that we will definitely look into and bring back more information on that. If that's we'll bring it back as another item
Yeah,
with that information.
yeah. But I would suggest, at least my thought would be that it be brought back as an item for a vote, because I don't really know what else there is to discuss. I'm not sure. Can't think of anything else, other than I would want to know whether the program has within it that little test phase that True has within it, or the other LEED certifications, they generally have that test phase within it.
Okay, we can
Yeah.
look into that for sure.
Okay.
And we'll bring it back as an action item.
All righty. Okay, well, with that, thank you very much for bringing that back, and I guess we will not proceed with the vote on that at this point in time, so we will hopefully bring that back for the next meeting if the information, when the information is available, and we'll move on to agenda item number.
Excuse me, Chair, I have a question.
Sure.
I was just curious, you mentioned on Ellen's presentation there, they're looking at improving the bike lanes, expanding the bike lanes here in the city, right? So I do the city golf cart inspections for the city now, related with IPD. And I've been trying to talk to somebody about, because when I go out and do inspections of people's golf carts to be street ready, the maps that we have currently seem to be outdated, so do you know who you're working with regarding the bike lanes, or is that, I'm just curious if you know what department
Engineering.
is handling that? Street department?
Engineering usually does ATP, like all the bike lanes.
Engineering, I think it's engineering, right?
Engineering, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so,
Yeah, that's also the streets department and part of this complete streets plan.
are you directly involved with that at all, or? Okay, I was just curious. Okay, because I'll do some work on my own, because there's improvements that can be made for the golf carts and the bike lanes. Obviously, we've got the CV link now that connects with Gulf Center Parkway. I live on the north side, and people are asking me, how come there's not a lane for me to get up to CV link along over I-10 there and stuff? So I'll look into that. Now, this is aside from, obviously, sustainability, but.
Right, I do understand, and it is based off of the Complete Streets Plan, which I believe was done in 2019, which means that
Yeah,
that's why a lot of those are not necessarily in that document right now.
right, okay. Oh, and then last question, and this gets back to the LEED certification. What agency does the actual verification to certify a city?
It's the U.S. Green Building Council,
Okay,
USGBC.
and that's all I have on that, thank you.
All righty, thank you. Item number 8.1 is to recommend to the city council that the city submit an application for the Transformative Climate Communities Round 6 grant. And is this a discussion item or a vote, or
This is a voting item.
this is a voting item? Okay, well, if this is a voting item, I am going to have to recuse myself from this discussion and the vote.
From
ahead.
from the vote.
From the vote, not from the discussion? Okay, all righty. The reason being is because, just for disclosure, I'm the executive director of a nonprofit, Ecovista 360. We do projects in the Inland Empire, and we're currently doing one project for Cal EPA, which is within this same area that would be for the TCC. And so we've working to partner with the city also if they move forward on this, because it overlaps the same geographic area where we're already doing outreach for Cal EPA. So there's a potential conflict of interest, and I don't want to get myself in trouble. So that's why I definitely recuse myself from the vote. So when you're ready to vote, well, we won't. If I step out, you won't
Yeah.
have enough members to vote on it.
Yes, we won't be able to do that, so we should probably.
Well, I mean, I think, so usually, like commissions were like a recommending body, you know, and ultimately it's the city council that decides if they approve the authorization of a submission of an application. So I think we can have a discussion, and I guess the only concern I have is that July 31st is the first deadline, I think, for the pre-proposal, you know, where you submit a pre-proposal, I can't even speak, pre-proposal document, and probably other small items like, for example, your project area map and all that good stuff. And so I would hate for us to miss the deadline for that, for the submission of that item, you know, but,
The deadline for that item is June 30th.
oh, sorry.
And it is required to do an application for the TCC Round 6. However, it doesn't have any specific bearing except for the Strategic Growth Council to give you some feedback on your programs. So since it's a preliminary application, it's not super detailed, then we can go ahead and submit that. But we would need city council approval to submit the formal application, which is due September 30th.
September 30th. So I think we could have a discussion and just provide staff with some, you know, guidance or what have you. But I guess we won't be able to vote, but I think, when is our next meeting? I thought I saw on the calendar, is it,
It's July
July?
27th?
ooh, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
my thought is, there's two of us that can discuss this or vote on this at this time, and we just need a first and a second. And then we
You
can
have
vote
to have
amongst
a
us
quor, you have to have a
to forward it
quorum.
on. I
Okay.
mean, I don't see any issue
I
with
don't know,
that.
do you? Well,
Sorry? No, I don't have a conflict.
yeah, well, I mean, you're, Commissioner Getka, you're saying that you could have two commissioners vote on it? I don't think you can.
Well,
You need
what I
three,
would,
right?
if I could make a suggestion.
Go ahead.
Vote on it. And if it's null, we'll deal with that after. But if
Okay,
you,
so
if it's not, then great.
Okay, so the two commissioners will vote, and then if you, I won't vote on it.
Okay.
Okay, so go
Let's,
ahead, please, with the presentation.
Yes, this is very quickly. I'm going to start and then I'm going to.
Yes.
Okay, the Strategic Growth Council has released the application for the TCC grant round 6, and the actual application is due on September 30th, 2026. There's 3 parts to the grant. There's a planning grant, development grant, and an implementation grant. And a little history, the City of Indio did apply for an implementation grant in round 4, and we were not selected in that round. Some of the projects that we had proposed were EV chargers and active transportation projects, energy efficiency, solar on the houses in the area. This is the area for that the original proposal was done in 2022. And this is actually a current map, which means for the 2020, or the current round 6, the same area still applies as far as being part of the disadvantaged communities that give points for the TCC grants. So we were not, India was not awarded the grant in round 4. And some of the feedback that we got was that the workforce development program only focused on solar installations. We had limited community-based organizations in Indio, and there were other issues with details on the project. So what's happening now, ultimately, is the number one thing right now that is technical assistance. So we had a meeting with Vice Chair Jimenez, and Coachella had put in another application for the TCC round 5, I believe, and was funded. And Commissioner Jimenez did a lot writing the grant, she's managing the grant, and that technical assistance, she has, we had a meeting with her, and she has said that she will help us create the TCC round 6 application. And having someone who's actually been funded, gone through it, written it, gotten the funding is a game changer as far as being able to do this again. So we have that assistance, and we also have some of the information from round 4, and some of the issues about how it was written, some of the detail, that's where this technical assistance can really come in handy. And so we're not starting from 0 if we do a round 6 application. We also had issues with local community-based organizations, but as Chair Liu just said, the newly formed CBO that she works with is here in Indio, which helps check another box. And then tomorrow, we've been making some phone calls after talking with Vice Chair Jimenez, and tomorrow we're meeting with the Riverside County Workforce Development. They actually did the workforce development for the city of Riverside, who was funded, and their work was funded with them as well. So they're willing to talk to us now about what they might be able to do in partnership with, if in a new funding application with the City of Indio. And even talking to them, Vice Chair Jimenez has helped us understand what to ask for, how much work to kind of say, to be a part of this, you do these parts of the application so that it takes a lot of the burden off of this application, of staff time, of costs, and it just makes it so much more realistic and possible to do. And so that's where this item has come up from. We are busy talking to a lot of potential partners, at least getting some letters of recommendation that we'll need, or letters of support. And then we've been talking about some of the project ideas, again, that have been funded, that we believe can be funded because of Vice Chair Jimenez's experience with this grant. So we're bringing this to you today as a voting item to recommend to the City Council with all of the changes, with all of the support, to recommend it to City Council to do another application. Would you like to add anything, Vice
Yeah,
Chair?
so I just wanted to share that as I was trying to encourage Sarah and Ellen, I mentioned to them that, you know what, you're not starting from scratch. You're going to start from a very good foundation that you had because you actually came very, very close to getting funded. But because this program is oversubscribed and they only were going to make 3 awards, it's crazy competitive, right? But I was talking with Sarah about, and Ellen about the ways in which we can submit a very competitive application, and it just required a few tweaks, a few enhancements to kind of really drive the point home that, this is a community-led effort, that the city of Indio and this particular community has these extenuating needs. And I advise that, the city should never feel like it's going to lift the entire application by itself. You're going to ask these partners that are going to join you, and you're going to have them lifted with you. And so I think that's a fantastic strategy because it actually makes it even more comprehensive for the groups that are going to join the city's application. Because what you'll do is you'll say, okay, so I'm going to give this to you. I'm just making this up. Grid alternatives. Grid alternatives, you're going to fill this out and give me all your deliverables, your budget, okay, all this stuff. I'm going to give you $2 million, and give me what $2 million is going to do for you, okay? And then, we then have to, obviously Sarah and Ellen will have to meet with people to really discuss feasibility, all the details, like what they'd like to see based on the community engagement that they've already conducted, to see, okay, so how many solar panel installs are we going to see in the Jewel neighborhood? Is it going to be 50? Is it going to be 75? Or what are we talking? And so, so I think that just providing that advice about, okay, don't feel like you have to go hire somebody to write this grant. No, actually, the funder prefers that you write it yourselves, in collaboration with your partners. Because the one thing that we did hear from the Strategic Growth Council for us is that the feedback they provided was simple. They said, look, we appreciate it when people submit applications that are well supported by other nonprofits, community-based organizations, because we understand that in order to implement full-blown climate resilience and adaptation measures, you're not able to lift this by yourself. You'll need other subject matter experts like EcoVista 360, the Riverside County Workforce Development, Sunline, CVAG even for CV Link, because I heard Commissioner Gekas mention that there's a missing link on CV Link, like a connection. So, if it happens to fall within the project area, we can throw it in there as part of active transportation, and you just create, find some budget to create that linkage or whatever it is that we're missing. And so those are the things that I think engineering or the streets people in Public Works can help. Probably engineering, because they're the ones that deal with CVAG. And they can help the city to really identify where these gaps are, in our active transportation network, for example, and taking, Commissioner Guetta's, advice, that he noticed there's a missing link. How do we get that addressed? Or even other items, that I've heard the commissioners mention over time can be addressed through the grant. And so I even encourage you guys to even reinstate your partnership with Desert Recreation District, since you have that big park and there was some stuff that you guys wanted to do. So I think bring them back on board to see what they can do in this upcoming round if you think, if you feel compelled to do so. But I think the city is in really good shape to submit another application. And I can definitely provide that expertise and to tell you like how to organize it so that it makes better sense and you don't feel as overwhelmed. Sorry.
Commissioner Getka, your comments?
Well, we appreciate that, and that'd be great. I'm sure our staff will really appreciate your assistance on that. What kind of funding are we kind of looking at?
It's 27.5 million in this round. So there's going to be 3 awards that are going to be made, and each at 27.5 million. And so the city will get to get some administration funds to pay for staffing. So I did let Sarah know that the city does not have to be burdened with like anyone here being taken offline to do the grant management or grant administration. You can actually, you get dollars to hire someone, other people to help you, like a management analyst, a grants manager, whomever it is that you think you might need, an admin assistant, again, just exclusively manage the grant, so for the grant term. And so, so the city will get 5%, up to 5% of the 27.5 to dedicate to administration. And then there's threshold criterias for the respective plans. And usually there's 3 plans. I didn't check if they have 3 plans this time, but for each plan, the threshold is 3% of the grant award. So just keep that in mind as you're creating budgets. Be like, okay, my cut is 5%, displacement avoidance 3%, community engagement 3%, indicator tracking 3%. And so you just take, so you already like set that money aside, and then you'll determine, okay, I have this much for all the other, projects or plans. And so, so the city will receive really robust funding for all kinds of possible initiatives, including urban greening, active transportation, health and well-being, green infrastructure, also car sharing and mobility, and even like other things like if there's a transit hub in Indio that needs attention, that could also be integrated in your ask, because I know we have a transit hub, but I don't know, I haven't seen if it's in the project area. But, I think that transit hub could get some enhancements, some slight enhancements to really encourage people to ride the bus, or, catch, or do like a, e-scooter, e-bike space where, they can park there and charge up or whatever. So I think there's a lot of potential, but I just don't know. I haven't checked to see if that's in the project area. But those are just some ideas and thoughts.
Are these federal grants or state grants?
State. It's by Climate Investments with the California Strategic Growth Council.
Okay, fine. Great. So can we make a motion to recommend this?
I'm going to turn this over to you to take the vote.
No, I'll have Chair Getka go ahead.
You're the vice chair, so please lead the vote.
Okay, so I will move to recommend to the city council that the city submit an application for the Transformative Climate Communities Round 6 grant.
I second that.
You want any discussion?
Any discussion?
No, not from myself.
Okay, hearing none. I guess motion carries.
We have to vote.
Oh, we have to, I thought we voted.
All those in favor, right?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
Motion
carries.
passes.
Motion passes. Sorry.
This is very weird. I've never had it like 2 people,
I know,
so I'm
I know.
sorry.
I almost felt like Chair Lou could have said all this stuff and then just have us vote.
Up and stretch.
She was like, no, no, no.
No, I mean,
Mix our project, that's what.
usually when people recluse, they they step away. I mean,
Exactly.
City council does that.
Yes.
But I was gonna go outside.
No, you weren't leaving.
Well, I was going to go out that door, but I saw a red light on there, so I figured if I go out,
Barb's gonna go off.
I might not be
card.
able to get back in.
Yeah, we'd let you back in.
And it's really, it's a large room. Alrighty, thank you. So the vote was taken on that. And we'll look for Sarah and Ellen to tell us the outcome of that item. And now we're on to item number 9, which is commissioner reports. Actually, I'm always wondering, why do we not have the staff items before the commissioner reports on our agenda? Is that standard or?
It's just how we've always done it, but you're welcome to move any of the agenda around as chair.
Okay, no, I just, sometimes we do run out of time. I think we're doing okay this afternoon, but, okay, that's fine. I always feel that we want to hear what you have to say.
Well,
Can we move them forward? Is there any
Yes,
objection to that? I just want to move Sarah and Ellen forward. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, just so that,
I
so,
think that's a great idea because we don't want to run short of time and not hear some of the staff
exactly,
reports, right?
exactly, if they're critical items. So if you're ready, could you go ahead? We're going to move item number 10.1 first before our reports. Could you move forward with that one,
Absolutely.
please?
10.1 is we're bringing this item back because the commission asked us to look into what would need to be done, if there needed to be a charter, or what kind of rules would need to be done for the commission to have the 2x2 meetings where 2 of you meet without the rest, obviously, the rest of the commission, and then bring back your thoughts or items for full disclosure and vote at the full commission, and also about the advisory groups where the commission had brought up having advisory groups, kind of sub-advisory groups for you in your areas. And so we looked into that, and the only limitation that we can bring forward is the Brown Act. As long as you're operating within the parameters of the Brown Act, then you don't need anything else from the city. No charters, no legal advice really outside of staying within the Brown Act, meaning, you want to keep those smaller commission meetings or commissioner meetings with only 2 of you. You absolutely cannot have a quorum present outside of these meetings when you're discussing items that you want to bring back or vote on here in the commission. So that is the only limitation. That is 10.1, only the Brown Act. 10.2 are the updates to the city council. We're bringing this back because we just need a little clarification. We know that the commission has said that you want more updates to the city council more often, but where we just don't know if that meant you want us to bring that forward or if the commissioners yourselves want to bring that forward. We just need a little direction on that.
Okay, can we take them one at a time then? So on the working groups, which is 2 of us meeting, so a quorum would be 3, or 2 of us exchanging emails back and forth. For example, on my item, I have green buildings and Commissioner Chris has green buildings. So, or whoever else wants to work on green buildings, but it can be only 2 of us. I would email that person just as an example and ask them, what do you think of this draft? And we'll pass it back and forth before we come to the next meeting. That's just an example of one item. So is there any question, comments, objections to that moving forward with that so we can kind of accelerate our pace? Any questions?
None from me. I think that's great. That's how I've always understood working groups to be, that it's 2 commissioners, not more than that. And, so I think that's fine. I don't have any objection.
I concur.
Okay, so it's up to each commissioner to reach out to the person on this list, or if this list isn't updated, just update this list. So say, for example, let's see who has two, I think sustainable buildings are the only one where we have duplicates, but maybe folks want to add other items on their name. So that someone, I thought Commissioner Chris was working on data centers as well. There was someone else, I'm not sure. But maybe we can update this a little bit better so people can know, the commissioners can know who they can reach out to and email that person and say, do you have any comments? Can we work on this before the next meeting? But it will be up to each commissioner to undertake that. So that closes that item, I think. There's not really, it's just a clarification. On the second one, which was the advisory group, while we were waiting on Sarah and Ellen to get back to us, I had some thoughts on that. And these might not be necessary, but I put together this little, AI did for me. I'm not that good at graphics. Thoughts on the advisory group. Obviously, the purpose is to increase community involvement in the commission, because I don't know too many people who are just going to come here and sit down and just, unless they're really discontented, to sit down and listen to us. Folks want to talk, they want to engage. In the course of doing outreach that I've been doing, I'm coming across people who have opinions to share, but they're certainly not just going to come in here and sit down and just listen to us, talk and talk. So people want to engage, not just listen. And that's something, if you're going out for grant funding and so on, we're really going to need to show better community engagement or more, and it shouldn't be on Ellen and Sarah to do so. And the thought is to, one idea is to, and I'm giving you a hard copy, so maybe you could mark this up as you go along. So if you could just mark this up with your thoughts and send it back, maybe that would be the way to do it. To seek, so I'll just kind of run through it, and if you could mark it up, seek 2 advisory members from each district, and try and get a mix of people, agriculture, housing, festivals, something to that, just be as creative as you can. Minimum total number of advisory members to have at least a quorum of the district. So quorum of the districts is 3 districts. So if we only had 1 district with citizens or residents, who want to participate, then it really doesn't make any sense. If you have 2, it's a little bit better, but it would be ideal to at least have 3 districts having participation of residents, of community members. If we don't, and I'm imagining that to get folks on board, it would be the city putting an announcement in the newsletter saying the Sustainability Commission is extending an advisory group, or do you just want us to pick up the phone and call someone?
Could I just interject really quick? So I totally appreciate this. I think this is terrific. I just wanted to give a few comments before we move any further. So I just wanted to say that, Chair Lou, you're very ahead of your time, and I think this is beautiful. I was just going to say that with TCC, for example, the structure will necessitate working hub groups, an advisory council, even a collaborative stakeholder structure. So it's really intensive. And I just wanted to ask if anybody, maybe perhaps you've already checked, I was just going to ask if, you know, if we're even allowed to form this group, this so-called advisory group. The only reason I'm asking is because usually in our ordinances, they talk about, you know, we have our city council structure, we've got the planning commission, we've got this commission and the other commission, right? And so that's all in an ordinance. And so I'm just wondering, so we're supposed to be like that advisory group to the city council. Okay, so this is in addition to what? Like, to are you suggesting that this advisory group is exclusive to the Sustainability Commission? Or would it be like a group that also integrates, like Planning Commission, this one, Economic Development?
Just for us, similar to, you know, there's another city in here, I won't name them, they have like sub-working groups and
yes,
so on.
yes,
Some cities have that. Now, what you were mentioning about TCC, are those groups specific to the TCC project? Is that what you're saying?
They would be to the project area that you saw in that map, but here's the thing.
Just for that project
Just for
area?
the project area, and so, but the community does come out from the entire city and can come in and give also direction and opinion. And so what I was trying to say about that is that we have, it's quite a bit of meetings that we have with the advisory council that we formed, that actually our community engagement partner recruited, advertised, interviewed, all that good stuff. And then we have the collaborative stakeholder structure, and then we have working hub groups depending, you know, to facilitate better coordination of project implementation. And so in these working hub groups, that's like separate, you know, so all of a sudden you have like 10,000 meetings, right? And so I guess what I'm saying is, because that work is also sustainability and resiliency, I was just asking if Commissioner Liu was thinking, in addition to that, we want to have this advisory group. I'm just asking, you know, because it's going to be a lot. I mean, but it's going to be great work, you guys. And I looked at all the options, Chair Liu, and I really like option one. That's the option I really like the most. But again, I respect whatever the commission wishes to do, because I did review it. I kind of cheated because this chart was very attractive.
Yeah.
And so I looked at it and studied it, and I thought, I think option number one is for me. But I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah. We started in this on January. Was it January? I remember.
It was January,
It
yes.
was January.
Yes.
And it's just crazy that we're in June. So Sarah and already answered your question.
yeah,
So
okay.
I let you answer. Can you answer the question? You had
She's like, you lost me.
you had a question. The vice chair had a question about
I think
is
I
it
just
in the
answered my own
ordinance
question.
and all of that. So you already did that research. So could you please?
Yes, we did, and any of the smaller commission meetings, the working groups, or the advisory groups will have to be outside of the administration of the city. So it would fall on the commissioners to recruit, if you will, and work with them. The only thing that we can support is the actual commission, and that is, and staying within the Brown Act. Those were the two things.
Okay, so you would not be facilitating the formation of this advisory group. I get it. Okay. So it remains to be seen now that, you know, I launched that idea back in January or something like that. I think, or might have been February, something like that, a couple of months ago. So this is a follow-up. So I'm not sure if we want to do this or if we want to focus on something that might be more TCC oriented. I don't know at this point in time, but
It could be really smart to start this and then eventually have these people be part of those other groups, you know what I mean? So like, this is not, would not be a waste at all. It would be actually a great investment, because then you recruit these people. We ourselves, you know, either you and David can work together, me and you, or whomever else, you know, and we can recruit people to join, you know, the advisory group. And that way, when the city does conduct some engagement, there's already going to be people that are available that can opine and support. So I think it would be really good to have something like this if you wanted to start setting it up. And so, like Sarah indicated, it would really just be a fall on us, right? Like, we would be the ones that would recruit people, meet with them, talk with them, set agendas and all that internally. And, because staff can only support the commission, so,
Got it.
yeah.
Well, I commend you on your innovativeness.
This is
creativeness.
AI thinking.
Well, no, but the
Wink, wink.
concept, the
Data
concept
center.
is from you.
Oh, yeah, the concept is mine.
And you-
AI can't think.
Chair Lou on that. I would like to have maybe table this discussion to whatever decision we want to go forward with, to a meeting where we have all the commissioners on hand to have input. I don't think it's maybe not quite fair if we just the two of us give our thoughts and we proceed with
There's
this
3 of us on this.
concept.
We got 3.
And, we'd have to get 2 members per district, so I represent District 3. You two have your own districts. I don't know, I guess I'm not clear as to what background we would want to have as advisory members. I mean, what are we looking for a member? What's their background? What's their bio, basically? I mean, do we have standards? What are we looking for if we're going out there recruiting these type of advisors? And can they be business people, or you just want citizens, just, any residential citizen that you might know, or a friend? I mean, I don't know how specific the qualifications are that we're looking for the advisory members that we're perhaps going out to recruit.
I think anyone, right? Anyone that wants to participate, because I think it's really important to value or allow people who have their heart in it in participating.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Commissioner Gecka, like we should discuss it with the rest of the commission and we
Right.
can bring it back. And although we do have 3 people here today, we can bring it back and, and have that discussion then. And because I do think that there are a lot of noble people in the city of Indio that would like to contribute. They just may not have the educational background or maybe municipal government experience. But I think as long as they're a resident and that they have their heart in the right place and they're very committed and willing to assist, I think that I think should be sufficient. But if the commission, wishes to add additional parameters, that's fine with me as well.
Yeah.
And then when we find 2 advisory members, I mean, are we focusing on our topics that we're kind of engaged with? Is that the
Yes,
concept?
absolutely. We wouldn't be creating something
Okay.
new. Like for bike lanes, we would be getting their input, Now, we'd have to figure out that flow. Do we all get the same, do we all say, oh, bike lanes, we're going to ask our advisory members for input on that? Or, we'd have to pick, we probably couldn't give them every single topic to look at. We'd probably have to determine which topics that we give them, and give them something every month so they're not sitting idle, so to speak. They say, well, what did I sign up for this thing? I haven't heard from them in 3 months, so you'd want to engage them on some kind of basis, but not overwhelm them. So I threw out some ideas there. I'll just run through the rest of it, just for your thoughts and marking it up. And if Sarah and Ellen could send this out to the commissioners who are not here today. And these are just thoughts. These are just my crazy thoughts, that you would want a maximum term and a minimum term. You don't want someone to just show up once and never again. That's not going to be that helpful. So maybe a maximum of 6 months. Likewise, you want to make sure that you have some fit, since it's going to be the commissioner and these 2 folks, if it all goes well, you want to make sure that you get folks who are working together relatively well. So, and also to allow for even greater input, either a maximum commitment term or some kind of check-in term. I'm not sure how we do that. After a 6-month term, members sit out for a period before applying again. I don't know. That's just a thought. I just want to make sure we don't get caught into some dynamic that we can't control.
Well, I mean, aren't we gonna, I mean, we're having this discussion, but then Commissioner Getka suggested that we have this discussion for the next meeting. So do you guys think we should just go over this at the next meeting so that everybody can hear the presentation? Or, I mean, because
We could make it a discussion item. I could, just table it for now and send this out in the meantime.
Yeah, I would
and
table it. That's my
I could just
recommendation.
repeat it. Again, I got to bullet number 4. But the one thing I would say is that, comment, and I probably shouldn't comment too much. I just feel we're losing so much time. Because we lost 2 months. We're here now. We do have a quorum. Next time, we might not even have a quorum. The next meeting could be canceled. So we meet so infrequently, it's really hard to move agenda items along.
I think, you know what, I think you're right, and I do think that because we're going to start doing some really super exciting work here, we're gonna actually have a lot of eyeballs on us, and there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna wanna participate. And so I do think that the dynamic is going to change for the better, and I do think that our fellow commissioners will hopefully be able to join us, and, because I know that it sounded like there was 2 of them maybe that perhaps were sick. And so, I mean, we can't do anything about people who fall ill. And so, I mean, but I'm with you. I think, yeah, we lose a little bit of time and traction, but I do think that moving forward, we're going to get so much encouragement that people are going to want to be here, and there's going to be members of the public showing up to the meetings to opine. So, yeah, let's just be encouraged, you guys, and we can table this so that the entire commission can hear it next time.
Yeah, and my thought is that if folks miss the meeting, it's recorded on video. They
Yeah.
should take that incentive. So even if we run through the discussion, we don't have to drag it out. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to run through to item number 7. That way, we don't have to start from ground zero again the whole next time. People can view this and be prepared to, no?
I'm sorry. Okay.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. But-
Okay, all right,
but
I'll
yes.
just start again from I'm just trying to see how can we make use of time and,
Chair Drew's like, I'm starting over.
yeah, because I don't want to like drag it out, because like this is the, I don't know, second, third, I don't know how many times I brought this back, and a couple of times, yeah.
My only thoughts are,
Yeah.
this is a great idea. I personally, right now, would like to focus in on getting our teams, our subcommittees of the other commissioner, and determine what we want to focus in on for this balance of this year.
fine.
Maybe keep this in mind for next year, 2027, because I think, in my mind, if you want to speed things along, if we can get our subcommittee groups established and start focusing on the topic areas that we've signed up for, I think that maybe would be more beneficial initially. And this is a great idea, but again, to bring somebody in who hasn't been following along with what we're doing as a commission might be, and again, and the other thing I will say, a lot of our commissioners do work full-time. A lot of our folks are involved with a number of other groups. I know, I won't mention names, but a lot of us have other things going on. And I just think at this time, if you're wanting to move things along, I think we should, at this time, focus on getting our subcommittees developed and start focusing on those topic areas.
Okay.
And having meetings, our own meetings, the twos, whatever,
Okay.
to go over stuff and then present it to the commission.
When you look at the back of this form, there are three options that kind of address the fact that people have wear multiple hats. Many of us who volunteer to do things, typically, you know, as you say, if you want something done, you ask a busy person. So most of us on here have multiple things to do. So there's one option where each commissioner has two advisors, one where one commissioner has up to three advisory people, combine the districts, and one where we just have one single advisory group, which is option 3, and we rotate commissioners through. So maybe I can do first quarter, Vice Chair Jimenez can do second quarter of the year or something to that effect. So it's a pool of advisors. So that's why, you know, I put down 3 options there, because I realize that there is not a single one of us that like has loads and loads and loads of time. So we have to try and find a smart way to get things done.
So could we just bring this back at the next meeting? Because I feel that you're going to want to be this thorough with our full commission. And I really hope that they all show. I think they will. I think they will. I hope their health is good. And then we can just, because I'm with Chair Gedka that, you know, perhaps this is something we should bring up next year, and let's focus on those subcommittees or sub-subjects that we're supposed to be pursuing, or, you know, because I know I said I was going to do grant funding, and I am. And so, you know, I feel like, hey, our hands are going to be full, but,
Okay.
and then we're going to have a lot of people coming to these meetings, seriously. And I do think that we can show it to them next time, and then we can go from there, see what they think.
What I would recommend is, you know, you have a PDF form of this, I'm sure. Send it
We
out.
will, staff will send that out, and then we can support focus on the subcommittees, if that will help, and then we'll bring this back at a future meeting. So that's,
All right. I'm fine with no, I'm just not fine with just talking about the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, no, I'm with
good
you. I
no.
agree.
I'm just like, 'cause as you say, there are many other things to focus on. There's more than one way to make progress. So let's just make a decision and not do the same thing over and over, because we don't have time for that.
Yeah, we're not. I think we want to give other people a chance to give us their thoughts, and so let's give them that opportunity. So if Sarah wants to send this out to the commissioners, and that way they can just take a look at this PDF, and, you know, I think that's what I'm understanding, right?
Sounds good, sounds good.
Did
10
our-
point,
Did our screens go out? Because
yes, they did. Yes, I would.
I'm not seeing that on my screen.
Yes.
I just was,
Mine is out, I can't, yeah,
okay.
that's okay.
Mine's on, but
Number 2 was the update to and this is another of the action items that, you know, I brought up this concept of a work, I think it was a work box, I forgot what I called it, the working tools or something, to go back for the commission. I intended it, and I forgot to bring the exact words of the ordinance. In the ordinance that authorizes what we do, there is a clause in there where it says the commission, not the staff, the commission will update. That's what we are formed for. That's the whole purpose of our being, is that of our formation is to update the city council, and we will do so at least annually. That's the requirement. And so far, we've sort of kind of blended that with staff updating the city council and not us, which is, it seems to me in reading that actual text, which I should have brought, I keep forgetting, it's not the staff's duty, it's our duty. And then we talked, just to refresh people's memory, we talked about instead of doing an annual update, doing a quarterly update. So for example, all the work that staff and Commissioner Gedka did on the data centers, we never made it over to the city council to share what we had been doing, right? So,
It did become part of what the planning commission is presenting. It did, not directly from this commission, but it did, that information was incorporated.
Yeah.
yeah, but that was kind of like as a luck, not, that was just kind of a good fortune. It wasn't, go ahead.
No, I wouldn't say that it was good fortune. I did work myself, and I did get to speak with one planning commissioner, because, as you all know, we've had a number of meetings at our city, and lots of people have attended, including some of Indio's council members and planning commissioners. And so I did get to speak with some individuals about some of this data center work, and so I wouldn't say that it was by sheer luck that, they're doing a moratorium on data centers and all that. I think it was a combined effort of so many people, and so we're there, and that's all that matters, we're there.
Yeah, I would like to clarify that the planning commission did ask for a lot of information from staff and from the previous meetings that the Sustainability Commission did. It has not been luck at all, and the work that was done in this commission was absolutely important and useful and is incorporated in that by design. We are a very collaborative city, and therefore all of that information was articulated and sent to them, and we talked about it, and it helped support what they're going to present on Wednesday.
So,
Okay.
yeah, we need to wrap it up, you guys. Where are we,
Okay.
Chair Lou?
So, I'm not really sure where to go on that. This was an agenda item on the update to the city council. I had suggested quarterly updates, but what I'm hearing is that we don't really need quarterly updates, and we don't need an annual update. Is that what I'm hearing? I'm
We
not
have to do
sure.
an annual update. The staff question was ultimately, would you like us to do that update, or is that something that the commissioners feel that they would?
I let
We just need that.
I let the commissioners opine on that.
Yeah, she let us know what the ordinance states, and she's indicating that the ordinance states that the commission should be up there, but I do believe that, my preference is that staff provides the update and the commission can be present, the commissioners can be present. But if in this case, or co-present with staff, that's another option. Sarah can kick things off, and then Chair Lou can chime in and, provide leadership there. So I'm okay with that format. But I think because we all work, well, I know I work full-time, and so I would appreciate it if staff would help us out like that. But if Chair Lou wants to be there with Sarah and you guys tag team, that's perfect.
What is the frequency? Do you have any preference on the frequency?
Yeah, I think Sarah indicated annually, but I think if we had to give an update to the council, I'd probably do it biannually, because I don't know that we have that many updates to be updating them quarterly. I think maybe biannual and then annual or something,
Commissioner Getka, thank you. Thanks, Vice Chair. Commissioner Getka, what is your preference? Do you want staff to do it or us to make the update to the city council? And if so, how frequently or infrequently?
Well, I think once a quarter would be sufficient,
And by whom?
or as per needed. If there's something
Per
comes up
the,
with, a certain topic, then maybe we should,
should it be from the staff or from the
I
commission?
think maybe both.
Okay, all right, and I'm just fine with whatever everybody else decides
Okay,
on
we
that
will,
item.
staff will facilitate it. Hopefully, the commissioners are able to attend, but now we know, and we will bring that forward, and
All
that's
right.
very helpful. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm glad we moved that agenda item forward, commissioners. I'm sorry that you didn't get to give your updates, but
We'll do it
that's the
next,
reason
next meeting.
for moving it forward. Oh, so I need to, is there a meeting and a motion and a second to adjourn today's meeting?
Motion to adjourn?
I second.
Second, okay, with that, any noes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, I don't hear any nays, so the meeting is adjourned. Our next meeting is July 27th, 2026. Thanks to everyone for all of their great work. Thank you. All right, goodbye.